Woo! On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. I don't know the rest of the words, my friend. I can't wait to get on the road again. That's an old song. I don't even know if it goes like that, but it popped in my mind, so I sang it. Hey, you know, whatever. Those skies that you see are amazing. They are amazing. Amazingly beautiful or amazingly terrifying, depending on your perspective, which is dependent upon your soul condition. Woo! Good morning, everyone. All right. So it doesn't look like that in person. Like with my eyes, I don't see it like you guys see it, or like I see it on the camera. It's a beautiful blue color on the camera, but it's not as vibrant and looking at it with my eyes. But it's beautiful, and I'm glad it's beautiful because I like beautiful things. And my focus, something's wrong with my focus. Let me see. My focus. Let me see. All right, maybe that's a little better. I cleansed the lens. Oh yeah, that's much better. Maybe I had greasy hands. Who knows? I don't know. All right, so like I said, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jamila, Ariana, Elisa, Janine, Kelly. All right, so this morning I am talking about dementia. Uh-oh. And this topic, I don't even know why this topic came up. I'm sure I'll figure out later. But as I was thinking about it, I have a friend who has a grandmother who has this. And she's basically been degrading for a long time. Like, she will not die. She just won't do it. She's hanging on. And she has had a very angry life. Like, her entire life she's been angry. And she has done things to people that are almost unthinkable. And did it with great pleasure. So this is, you know, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, is so that people understand what's going on for those who you know that have dementia. I don't know if anybody who has dementia is listening to this, but what I do know is that those who passed on who had it, they are listening to this. So if you have, because the thing is, you know, when we have loved ones that pass over, they hang around their family members for many different reasons. They will do this, and there's also other spirits who have, that are not related to you, or people who have died in their spirits, and they're just, you know, what we would call, or you call, a demon, meaning they're earthbound souls who are just hanging around doing things they shouldn't be doing. All right, but they can't help it based on their soul condition, just like people can't help what they're doing based on their soul condition here on earth. Like, they're doing it, and of course we all have free choice, but because of the soul condition, these actions are able to even happen. So they are able to listen to the video that you're listening to. All spirits that are earthbound, who are hanging around people in human form and physical bodies, they see and hear everything that you're doing. So when they hear things like this, when they see you attempting to improve yourself or understanding life better, understanding the spirit world better, as you understand the spirit world better, they understand the spirit world better. As you gain clarity, they gain clarity. As you learn about your soul condition and what it even is, they learn about their soul condition and what it is. So this is one of the reasons why I started talking about the things that I've been talking about lately, because some of these things I've never talked about, and I just you know, basically kept it to myself. But these things are things that, even though you may not understand it, like, you may not understand the spirit world, however, those who are hanging around you understand the spirit world. They understand what they're seeing, and they understand what they're experiencing in terms of they know what's going on, but they may not know why it's going on. And so it's important that I speak about this and that other people speak about it. And if you are comfortable enough to talk about it, then talk about it with other people. Because if you know someone who's dealing with something that you're dealing with, if you know someone that's dealing with the things that I'm speaking about that you may not be dealing with, then it is almost your duty from a loving place to help them understand it. Not saying that they will understand it, but when you give someone consciousness, when you give someone an awareness, they become aware. So as you give consciousness to them, because you're sharing your consciousness with their consciousness is now expanded even more. And sometimes they don't know it until something else, another piece is delivered to them at a later time. So, oh, these clouds are beautiful. Sorry. Oh, I didn't make me coffee. Darn it. My throat is dry. So, this is why I talk about some of these things, because I don't only have love and compassion for people who are in physical form, but I also have love and compassion for those who are on the other side of the veil, who are also lost and need assistance as well. So, dementia. Woohoo! Dementia comes from people who suppress a lot of emotions, a lot of pain, a lot of anger, and they don't want to deal with it. And so all of that is connected to this life. Everything is connected to their life. And this is their way of not dealing with it. And so, like I said before, everything that is within your soul is reflected in the physical world. So if on a soul level they don't want to access, like they don't want to deal with some of these things that they're holding within, they'll check out. Well, how do they check out? Well, they start not focusing so much on the physical world, because this is where all the problems is. Everything reminds them of all the things that they're suppressing. So if there's a lot of things going on with their family, within their family, then they will do things well, not do things, but what they will do is they will stop focusing on that, and that is what dementia is. So, as a person is checking out, like in that manner, not checking out like dying, as they're no longer wanting to focus on the world because that's where all the problems are, they start forgetting everything. Who they are, their name, who you are, who their friends are, how to do basic things. But understand what's going on when they're checking out. This is where the spirit world comes in. Because as they check out and they don't focus in this world, they focus more on the spirit world. And I said before, when we're sleeping, we're always in the spirit world. We're not aware of it, and most times people are afraid of the idea of the spirit world. So they won't remember it. You won't have any recollection of it because you don't want to remember. And if you're the type that doesn't want to hear about the spirit world or on the other side of the veil or anything, demons, anything that has to do with the spirit world, or the non-physical, I should say, then you have a fear of it. And so what makes you think that you're going to want to remember what is happening when you're sleeping? Now, you may get bits and pieces. They're called dreams. You would remember them or know or understand them as dreams. But when you're sleeping, you're interacting with spirits who have passed on. You're interacting with people who are still alive, who are also sleeping, and you're interacting with them. You're even interacting with other people who are on the other side of the world. So when you have dreams, when you're like, oh, I was in China or whatever, that's where you were. And that's where you were doing all kinds of things, because you can go anywhere you want in the spirit world. And so and as a part of dementia, they start sleeping a lot. And I don't know if doctors know what this is. I don't know what their explanation of it is, but it's usually wrong anyway. But oh my gosh. So I don't know. I don't know what conclusion they've come up with. What is this behind me? You the popo? I don't need no popo behind me here. Let me go around. Go around. Yeah, they start sleeping a lot. And so when they start sleeping a lot, they start spending, what's happening is they're spending more time in the spirit world. It's too hot in here. 1 second. Ooh, it's too hot. It's too hot. Alright, so yeah, they start spending more time in the spirit world. And sometimes they don't want to come back. They like staying over there, depending on what they're interacting with. Because sometimes what they're seeing on the other side is a better place. And sometimes it's not. And it really depends on the person. It really depends on the soul condition of the person. So, another thing, I wonder if I should go to that. Another thing that happens when, oh, yeah. So there's this, people in dementia, they get angry, something, get very angry, and they don't seem like they're the person that they were, right? Or that you know them to be. Well, the reason why this is because when they vacate their physical body and their spirit body goes out and they're doing other things in the spirit world, there are other souls that come in and try to occupy the body. And sometimes what happens is they cloak them and they come in, because when you're sleeping, you're at a very vulnerable state. Because your body is basically there by itself. And the only thing that's connecting it is the silver cord that we have, which is this energetic cord that is connecting the spirit body to the physical body. And so it's kind of like you holding a rope in your hand, and the spirit is off somewhere and is holding the other end of the rope, and that's all that's really connecting you. So it doesn't have the full protection that it would have if you were in your body, occupying the body, because as you're in your physical body and occupying the body, you have your soul and your spirit body there, but you have the protection of your soul. So, or the body has the protection of the soul, I should say. So when you're out and about doing whatever it is that you're doing, or they're doing whatever they're doing in the spirit world, other spirits can come in. And this is what you're seeing is other spirits who are on similar energetic levels, and they can come in, and this is why you have these anger bursts, or bursts of anger. Because it's not them fully, it's someone else, and you're like, I don't even know, you know, she's so angry, you know why? I don't know. And if it's your parent, then you really start losing your mind. I don't know what's happening, like, you know, especially if you're really emotional, like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know her anymore, and you know, she's just so angry, she's suffering, and I don't know what's going on. Well, this is what's going on. There's other spirits who are in her body and influencing things, and all kinds of manner of things are happening. So this is like I said, this is why we have the shift in mood. It's not them by themselves. There's influences that are happening, and there are a lot of spirits who are hanging around looking for bodies who are in a vulnerable state. So when what else did I want to talk about this? Okay. So when the spirits, okay, see, this is, I guess I do have to go there. All right. So, oh gosh. Oh my, I really debated on talking about this because it links into something else, and I didn't want to make people afraid of what happens on the spirit world in terms of when you die. But this whole dementia thing is connected to that. So, like I brought up my friend's grandmother, she won't die. And her body is just failing and failing and failing, but she will not die. And like, she's not eating, she's not doing all these different things, but yet she's hanging on. And the reason why she's hanging on is because of what she's experiencing on the other side. So though she doesn't want to focus on this world anymore, she doesn't really want to be in the other one either. So it's like this in-between state. And so it's almost like they're still connected to this world, like they're still connected to the physical body, but they don't want to release from it, because once they release from it, they're totally only in the spirit world and where they're going to end up based on their soul condition. And knowing this, because your soul let me tell you, I stress the soul condition and the importance of it, and the importance of having love within your soul and getting rid of all the things that are unloving, because that is what dictates what you see and what you experience on the other side of the veil. Now, we have people who have near-death experiences, and my mother was one of them when she had it. When there are near-death experiences, these people have an idea of what it's going to be like on the other side of the veil. Like, oh, death is going to be this and death is going to be that. Well, there's reasons why they experience things like that, and it's not really based on their soul condition. There are a great deal of celestial beings that are ready and nearby when people die, and they're there to help them transition. And so it's not such a shock. They're there to assist with the transition. So what they experience during a near-death, what someone would experience during a near-death experience, is completely different than what they will experience when they actually do transition. So, or not in action, not like right after, because like I said, these celestial beings are there to help you transition. And what I mean by that is they're there to comfort you, to let you know it's okay, and to get you acclimated as to what's going on, because when we pass, we're not always aware of what's going on. When we pass, sometimes we still think, depending on your soul condition and what you know of the spirit world, will determine how you feel when you transition. All of this is so important, because if you have a belief system that you're going to see Jesus when you die, then you're gonna have a pretty big shock. You're gonna have a pretty big shock, because that's not what's going to happen. But you do have these celestial beings who are there to greet you and transition you to where you are going to reside, basically. And like I said, where you reside is going to be based on your soul condition. So if you have a degraded soul condition, then you're going to be in a very dark place. And I can tell you, the majority of people on the planet will end up in this place, which is in the first sphere. But within this sphere, there are levels within it. And so there's the lower levels where it's very dark and dingy and smelly. And the reason why I say it's smelly is because you still have your spirit body, and you're still able to use your senses as you would in your physical body. You just don't have a physical body, but you have your spirit body, which is you. It's part of you too. So the thing is, your spirit body is a true representation of your soul condition. So what we see in the mirror is not an accurate depiction of your soul condition, or I should say, it's not an accurate depiction of your spirit body, but it's close. Well, I can't even say it's close. But and what I mean by that is, so when you have, like, say, sickness and illness and disease, then that is a physical representation. But understand that the physical manifestation took a while to even manifest, but it was already within your spirit body doing its thing. But it got to the point where it started affecting your physical body. That's what I mean. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like, let's picture under the cabinet, or under the sink in the cabinet area, there's a lot of black mold growing. And you haven't opened it, so you don't know what's in there. And what you start to see on the outside of the cabinet is a little spore. And you're like, oh, what's that little black thing? And you wipe it away. This is basically what you're doing when you take medications. Like if you have something on you, something on your arm or your skin, and you put some cream on it and you make it go away. And then it pops up again, and it's just this one little thing that you keep seeing on the outside, on the exterior part of the cabinet. But what you don't see is that it is just full of black mold within the cabinet. That's the part you don't see. So that is a representation of what's going on with your spirit body and your physical body. So there's a lot of damage going on because everything starts with your soul. So your soul's really jacked up because you have all these unloving, unresolved, painful, emotional injuries dwelling within your soul. That's the root of the cause of the problem. Then it affects the spirit body, which is really getting jacked up because it's the next manifestation of the soul condition, right? So it's the spirit body representation of the soul. So, and then the next one, like I said, is your physical body. So that is how this all works. So when you pass on, you're actually in a much more degraded state than you realize here on the physical world. So this is why people don't want to die when they're trying to hang on, and it's different. Someone in dementia or who has dementia is experiencing the spirit world, whereas here, like I'm talking now, I haven't experienced this. I don't have any conscious recollection of the spirit world, even though I'm visiting every night, even though we all visit every single night, we leave our bodies. But I don't have any conscious recollection of what's going on. So on a conscious level, I'm not aware of my the condition of my spirit body, but I do know the condition of my physical body. And so the things that are happening with it is only a small representation of where my spirit body is. So I'm not aware of what's really truly going on. I can only tell from how I feel, our emotions. This is basically how if I'm honest with myself, like if I'm not suppressing a whole bunch of things and denying a whole bunch of things, then I can get a pretty good picture of what's going on with me on a soul level and a spirit body level. Mainly on a soul level. That's really what I'm concerned about. All that other shit, those are just physical manifestations, but it's not the root cause. Everything that's happening in the physical or the spirit body is not the root cause. So my main concern, and this is why I talk about it so much, is your soul, because that is you. That is where everything starts. That's where everything happens or comes from. So those who have dementia or dementia, and they're sleeping a lot, they're visiting the spirit world, and so they're having an awareness of what's going on, and they are afraid. They are very afraid. They're terrified as to what's going on. And if you know anyone who has this illness, I won't call it an illness, but if you know anyone who has dementia, then you know their life. And some of the things you will be aware of because they have expressed their anger and sadness, hurt. And then you have those who never ever talk about anything, and you think everything is peachy. Well, if they have dementia, then you know from this video, at least, that they have a lot of suffering and pain and they don't want to deal with it. So that means that they have a great deal of unloving things in their heart or in their soul because they've experienced a lot of pain and hurt. But from that pain and hurt comes a lot of anger and resentment and judgment that they don't ever talk about, but they think about it and they feel it towards those people. So it's there. And so this is what will cause a degraded spirit body, because their soul is in a degraded state. So when they're sleeping and they're interacting, they're looking at other people and they're looking at what their spirit body looks like. And it isn't pretty. It is not pretty. You are gorgeous. Even like if you have a degraded soul, your soul condition is in a degraded state, and you're here on earth, your body that you have now is gorgeous compared to what your spirit body looks like. If you're in a degraded state, meaning if you have a lot of emotional injuries that are going on, which are unloving things. So understand there's a difference. So, oh my gosh, there's a difference. So when these individuals or these people with dementia are sleeping all the time, they're getting a glimpse of other people. But if they don't have any idea about the spirit world, like the things that I have been talking about, those of you who have been listening to my videos, you're getting a glimpse of how the spirit world operates. So you have a better understanding than someone who has never heard this before in their lives. So let's say someone was... Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing? Let's say someone is in a degraded state. Oh, I'm sorry. I got distracted by this truck who tried to come into my lane. If you... Dang it. Shoot. Oh, okay. If you have someone, maybe you or someone else is in a religion, and they have a certain belief, and they won't acknowledge any of this stuff, then they are completely clueless about it. So let's say, you know, they were a Baptist and they're a devout Christian, and they have this belief, you know, they have the Bible and however they believe Jesus to be, because every Christian religion has a different view of what Jesus is and it's his role. So if they have a belief, and that's been their belief their entire life, and they don't know anything about the spirit world other than hell, hell and heaven, and that's it, then they won't know what's going on when they are visiting the other side of the veil. Yeah, okay. So they'll be confused, and so they'll look at these other spirit bodies, because the thing is, their spirit... Are you serious? Don't even try it. Don't even try it. People try to cut in front of me. They won't understand what's going on. So when they see these bodies, these disfigured, because that's what it really looks like. It looks like there's just this disfigured person that they see, or souls that they see. Because they're not seeing energy, they're seeing the spirit body. And they're looking at all these spirit bodies, and they look very just awful. They just look, they're in bad shape. And they're looking at it like, why are they seeing this? And they're seeing them all over the place, but they don't realize that they look just like the other ones. And once they realize this is part of where they're going, they don't want to transition. They don't want to do it. And this is what's happening with my friend's grandmother. Woo! I mean, wow. Look, I mean, from the stories, I can only imagine. I don't even know the full story of this lady's life, but the part that I did hear, I cannot imagine what this lady is seeing. I just cannot imagine the fear that she has and why she will not transition. And here's the thing, because of the state or the life she had lived while she was alive, well, she's still alive, but you know, while she was young and living life and doing all the things that she was doing, all the mean things. Well, not too long ago, because, you know, I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, I said, you know, how's so-and-so, and he's like, well, you know, she's sleeping a lot. She goes, he can't understand why she sleeps a lot. And I never talked to him about this stuff because he has his own belief system. And people shut down. People just shut down when you start talking about stuff they don't understand. And especially things that they can't verify. They shut down. So, which is, I won't go there. So, he said, but she's been so nice lately. Like, it's just shocking me. Like, I can't believe how nice she's been. Like, she's been saying, you know, I thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for all that you've done. I love you. Take care of yourself, and I really appreciate you. Like, she has been really loving. And the reason why is because she now has some kind of understanding as to why she's experiencing what she's experiencing. It's almost like this is one of the reasons why she wants to hang on, but her body is not, it's just, it can't. She is done. Like, this woman is old. It's done. So it's like she wants to hang on. Her body's degrading, but she doesn't want to transition over to the other side. And it's oh my gosh, it's amazing to know this stuff and know someone who's actually going through it, because for me it's validation of what's going on. For someone else, it's very sad and fearful if they don't know what's going on and they're looking at, you know, a family member in their mind, which is a degraded state. So she's, like I said, she's being very loving, very affectionate when she is awake, because she used to be, oh my gosh, I mean, she didn't even know me, and she used to talk about me. She never met me in my life, but she knew that I was a friend. And I mean, it's just really amazing to see this happen. It's, I don't know. Like I said, I never met the woman, but I think I do. I think I may ask him, you know, if I can meet her this Sunday, just to talk with her if she's awake, to explain, you know, that I understand what's going on and the ways to really fix it, the way to heal yourself, because she's going to be there a very long time, working out all of these emotional injuries that she has, especially the guilt that she's starting to feel, because she was not nice to him at all, but yet he has done everything in his power to please her. And she was very, just verbally abusive, just extremely abusive. So to see her, and this is what's so strange about it to him, is like, oh, where is this coming from? You know, for all the time that I've done things to take care of her, you know, she's been abusive, and all of a sudden she wants to be an angel. And this is what happens when you get a glimpse of what's really going to happen when you get to the other side. Fear starts coming in, and you're like, okay, I want to be good, I want to be good, I want to be good. It's no different than a child who has been acting a fool, right, at the grocery store or out in the mall, and then they know when it's about time to go home, they start acting like an angel because they know what's coming. And it's no different than that. She knows what's coming, and now she wants to start acting right. Well, honey, it don't work like that. You got to work that stuff out. And it's faster and easier to work it out here on earth than it is on the other side. Because like I said, what she's seen is what she's going to be stuck with. And so she, like any of us, she is going to have to ask for help. She is going to have to make a conscious decision for herself, saying, I need help. I want to heal myself. Help me work through this. And there are other souls who are in a more more in a better state, a better condition, a more loving condition, who will come down, because they can come down into the level of the first sphere, because this is where we're basically all going to go, as the first sphere, because of our soul condition on this planet. All this judgment, all this talking about people and all these, and hey, look, it's putting you in your first sphere. But there's different levels within it. But anyway, they can come down and give the assistance that you're asking for. But you're going to have to do the work. It's not like they're going to reach in and take it all out. You have to do the work and undo all the things that you did. You're going to have to work through all the things that you allowed to be in your soul. So if you allowed other people to hurt you, if you took on that pain, And so you have emotional injuries. You're going to have to work that out. So that's pretty much it. If I think of anything else, I'll do a continuation when I get back or when I leave work. And so I just want to say you are loved. It's always great talking with you, and to the spirits out there in the spirit world, you are loved as well. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.